How is everybody doing on this beautiful day? I will tell you what, a lot of things happened in the last 24 hours, and it's going to make a great podcast because I'm going to bring you through what happened today and what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. And today was just coming to a head. So this morning, got up at 6 a.m. and wanted to take the plane out for a couple hours. My CFI was all on board. I'd set this up a couple weeks in advance. So got up at 5, got dressed, went down to the hangars at 6 a.m. and Mother Nature was not being a friend to us. There was a thick fog and cloud cover over. And my CFI looks at me and he goes, let's do some groundwork. It'll probably lift off and then we'll go fly for an hour or two. Fog never pulled. And at 9:30, we realized we were not going to fly today. And we just did groundwork, worked on the maps and whatnot. What I loved about the lesson on getting my pilot's license here today is there's a statement that says, I'm safe. And what it stands for, and I just learned this, so I'm probably going to farm it, so forgive me in advance. I is, do you have any illness? Are you sick? I'm is, are you on any medication that could mess with or interfere you? S is, do you have any stress in your life that's going to deter you from being focused on the plane? A, have you had any alcohol in the last 24 hours that's going to affect your judgment? F is fatigue. Are you tired? Are you going to be sleeping when you get up in the air? E is, have you eaten? And also E stands for, are you emotional? And you have to go through all those and you have to be really true to yourself and say, am I going to check out on all of these tests of I'm safe? And if you got to answer no to them, you have to be real to yourself and you have to say, I'm not going to fly today. I'm not in the right headspace or right condition to make this trip. And that's the truth. That's what happens to a lot of us here is we push forward when we shouldn't be in life and business and anything you're going on. And this was a great synopsis of what has been going on the last 3-4 weeks with me and Integrated Signs. We moved over to Square Coil. We're moving here in the building. Everything's working well here. And with Integrated Signs, I'm not there anymore. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't find a replacement. I didn't put a new president in place. I kept the title of president. I didn't put a nice vice president in place, even though my dad retired some time ago. I left that company in turmoil and not a good hierarchy and a good organizational chart. Now, you have two things that happen to you. Number one, if you don't put anything in place and just let people be, you're going to get two types of people. You're going to get the type A OCD people that are going to take control of everything because they hate chaos. Or number two, the cat's away and the mice are going to play. Those are the two types of avenues you can go to, A or B. There's no middle ground there. They're either going to slack off. Now, how much they slack off, that's open interpretation. I got people that slack off only 1% and feel like they're cruising. I let people slack off 90% and do nothing and think it's okay. That's difference of opinion. But in the end, it's the type A and OCD people that you're going to create a love-hate relationship with. If they're OCD, they are going to take control of everything and then at some point in time, keep that control within themselves and not hand it out or give them everybody little tidbits of what's going on and not help those people grow. Yes, we love it that they're trying to keep the organization together and keep it in line and keep it in structure, and they're going to fill in the gaps where they believe there needs to be some. But if they're not poised for it and they don't really know where to go and where to step, they're going to end up being a control of the environment, control of the details, and they're going to stifle the company. Now, is it the OCD person's fault that they had to step up because there's no hierarchy? No, not at all. They're doing the best they can. Applaud those people. Thank you very much. It's the president's, the CEO's job to put a hierarchy in place so people know who to go to for questions, who to get answers from. And that's something that I failed to do. So today I had a board meeting. I stepped down as president. I'm no longer president of Integrated Signs. And I have put Jeannie Jackson as president of that company. Nadia, who I hired 6 months ago, who came from a very large company, has many great ideas, was not entrenched in the culture of the company. I have made her vice president, and I am CEO, which basically means that I control and run the board that overlooks the sign company, but the day-to-day operations, the sales, everything, I'm out of. I'm completely done. I'm out. Now, Aaron, why did you do that? Well, that's a great question. Rule number one. You cannot be the president, CEO, the visionary of more than one company. It's not going to happen. You can't do it because it takes time and effort and marketing and cheerleading and all the great things that goes along with being a CEO. You're leading the company from the front. Now, how are you going to do that and also lead the company of another company? It's impossible. You're going to half-ass both companies, and both companies are going to cripply just limp along, and they're not going to do anything any good. Now, who are you going to use to be your successor?
I want to take a moment to talk about true champions that are helping the industry out, and that's Wendy Graves. You guys have all known her for Women in Sign. She's been pushing that for quite some time, but she's also made a new alliance to help the industry out, and that's with Make It Happen Signage Academy here. I don't want to get this wrong here, so I'm going to read right from this, www.signage-academy/MIH-glance. That's the information. We're going to go ahead and put it at the bottom of the show notes here and on this clip, so you guys can click on it. She's going to be working with the Make It Happen Signage Academy for the Illuminated Signage Bootcamp, what's on the front lines, teaching project managers, sales, and everything in between. So definitely sign up for those things. Wendy's been doing some great work, so you definitely want to support her, and you're going to learn a lot.
The first question you got to ask yourself is, and this is an important one, do you want to be king or do you want to be rich? It's an important question, and there's no wrong answer. Just don't lie to yourself. Is if you want to be king and everybody's going to come to you for the question with questions and you have all the answers, you get to be king and the company cannot run without you. It's only going to run with you. That's a great feeling. Everybody needs you. I understand that feeling. But that company will never grow past you. And when you retire, the company's probably going to go under. So being king has its disadvantages. If you want to be rich, I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing you can do, don't run your own company. You're emotionally involved. Ever since that I have not been in the day-to-day grind, but still had the title of president, I now can look at that company very distinctly and make decisions based on business and non-emotional knee-jerk reactions. Even better, I hired somebody that doesn't own the company. They don't have an emotional investment inside of this company. They are going to make rational decisions that's based on the bottom line. Is it scary? 100%. Come on now. It's been the baby company. It's been the family company forever. That's super scary. But you have to do it for growth. What's the saying that we always see on Instagram and all the social media stuff? If somebody can do 70% of what you can do, give them the job so you can go do more. Well, I got really lucky. Person that was my protege that is now my successor, she can do about 95% of what I could do. And I bet you in about 2-3 years, she's probably going to be able to do more than I can do. Why? Well, she's very intelligent for number one. But number two, she can devote 100% of her time to it, where I could never. I have two different companies. I have two different places that I need my attention, need my time. And both companies have been suffering for many years because of what I've been trying to do. I finally today had to make the cut. I had to move forward and do it. Is it scary? Yes, it is. Is it necessary? 100%. You guys have to empower the people around you to make the decisions, trust their instincts, and support them. You know, today is a really special day. It's a celebration day for her. You know, she's going to take the lead of this company and bring it into the next, hopefully decade or 2 decades of where that company is going to go. As for me, I feel confident enough that somebody's going to run that company that has the company's best interest at heart. Now, remember what I said there. It has the company's best interest at heart, not my best interest at heart. Remember, as an owner, as a person, I'm selfish. I'm emotional. A company can't have emotion in it. It's going to do the right thing at all times, and it's going to blend itself and its culture to the economic environment that it's in. It's a very big difference. And so Integrated Signs is going to move forward with this new person leading it, and she's going to be able to give 100% of the time to that company. Very excited about this. I'm also excited for that big monkey off my back because now I can focus on Square Coil. Being rich versus being king. I know I touched on that, but let's really dive into that for a second. I cannot tell you how many people will actively, aggressively want to be king or passive aggressively want to be king. And both of those are a no-no in the world of business from my point of view. And let me tell you why. If you're aggressively being king, you are holding all the information and people can only grow when you allow them to grow. That means that the company can only run at your speed. It can only run as fast as you. If you give your company all the information it needs to grow and each person all the tools they need to succeed, your company's going to grow at a faster pace than you can ever imagine. You're probably going to have something called growth pains. That's positive. Those are good things. We love those things. But if you don't do that, your company's only growing the speed of you. Passive aggressive king. Person that comes in, looks around and goes, I wouldn't have done that. No, that didn't work that way. And they're a Monday morning quarterback. They're not going to give the lead. They're not going to truly lead, but they have no problem slamming the bad ideas. You guys, if you're not going to be here this Friday for an open house, I'm going to tell you right now, I have a slogan that I'm putting on this back wall for everyone to read that comes into this company. It says, judge me for how good my good ideas are. Don't judge me for how bad my bad ideas are. And I love that saying for multiple reasons. Number one, I want to cultivate positivity and for everybody to have their idea. Not all ideas are good. I have crappy ideas all the time, but I'm not scared to throw them out there because I know through that a good idea is going to come from it. And so I wanted to charge and create a culture of positivity, and I want everybody to feel comfortable throwing ideas out there. Are they all going to be great? No, not at all. But we don't care, because through the mind shift, through the mind thought process there, a great idea is going to come from it. And if somebody was quiet and reserved, now we're never going to hear a good idea. And we're never going to get to a great idea because they're too scared of their own shadow. And that is something, a culture I never want to have. So throughout all of this, a lot of change, a lot of positivity coming through this. I'm excited for the future of integrated signs. I'm excited to really spend a lot of time here at Square Coil. And, I'm looking towards the future. And for that, you got to grow. And these are growth pains. But so far, 3 hours now, no pain so far, all positivity. And as it goes through, I'll be sure to bring you guys up to speed on what's happening there and live life to the fullest on that one. So hope you guys got out of something for this one. This is kind of more of a life story than it is a lesson. And there's going to be a lot more to come from that. Thank you guys for listening.